What up, guys? Your boy Quake. Another day of 6ix9ine testifying against a lot of things that he did. But before we get into that, be sure to follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at QuakeGW. A link is in the description below for both. So today, Tekashi 6ix9ine was testifying once again, but today he decided to testify about the multiple incidents that he was involved in when it comes to shootings, when it comes to robberies, when it comes to fights that he was involved in, and when he got kidnapped. He manages to drag in Trippie Redd once again, and he even mentions what gang Casanova is part of. So now he's got Casanova involved in all this FBI bullshit. So let's get straight into it. If you haven't seen the previous video, which is day one trial, go ahead and check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below, but we're picking up straight from there. 6ix9ine echoes what he said yesterday in his testimony. He said, "My main dispute was with Trippie Redd. He was with another set of Bloods. So was Casanova. Me and Trippie Redd were signed to the same label. There was a lot of jealousy involved. He was signed first. I was signed later on, a couple months after. We had a song together. It was successful. Then jealousy. Then we got into online disputes. We attacked him at his hotel. Then they asked, can you walk the jury through what happened? He says, of course. Trippie Redd's manager said he wanted to squash the beef. At the time, I was very upset with him. He has already said a lot. Trippie Redd's manager gave us the address of his video shoot. I told Shotty I wanted something done about Trippie. Shotty said, say less, we'll get on top of it. We go to Red Hook or around there, industrial area. I'm in a Jeep. We see Trippie Redd's Sprinter van. We surveillanced it, waiting for Trippie Redd. Shotty said he had a few of the homies meeting up with us there. We stake out. Trippie Redd comes, gets in with 15 people. We follow him for an hour on the highway. I recall Harv coming in a 4-door Honda. Harv at the time was 6ix9ine's bodyguard, and Harv had a lot of things to do with how 6ix9ine got kidnapped, so on and so forth, and that's exactly who he's testifying against, and Harv is in that courtroom listening to all this. Continuing on, he says, the Sprinter van gets to the hotel. We don't want to get spotted. Shotty gets out, tells me to stay in the car. Harv parks parallel to the hotel. He's with like 3 other guys. Shotty comes back screaming, it's fucking TREYWAY. I love my guys. We got that, guys. 6ix9ine then continues, says, Shotty said Harv punched Trippie Redd in the mouth. At this point in time, they asked, did Harv assume a role with your entourage? 6ix9ine said, I used him as a bodyguard. After the incident with Trippie Redd, I saw that Harv was more of a doer. He's a big guy. I gave him the enforcer job. And then they ask, at this point, what was Mr. Ellison's, Harv's role in the gang? Then the judge asks, basis, how does 6ix9ine know? How would he know? 6ix9ine responds saying, Shotty told me, quote, I'm the big homie, obviously. Mel was the godfather, and Harv was just underneath. Then they ask, were there other times Harv protected you? He said, Gummo just came out. I was in the T-Mobile store. Some dude was waiting for me. Harv came. Was he armed? The guy from the T-Mobile store was sending me messages, so we went looking for him. I saw a gun in Harv's car. Near 18 Locust, I was walking to Chase Bank to make a deposit. I ran to another 9 Trey member. He's called Snow. He did a podcast saying he's not down with that rainbow head piece of shit. So now he's talking about Snow, who's Thaddeus Snow. He's a member of 9 Trey. He was affiliated, obviously, with Shotty and everyone else, but he didn't like 6ix9ine. He went on a podcast, said he's a rainbow head piece of shit. Then 6ix9ine says he called Shotty when he heard that and put him on FaceTime with Snow. Shotty told him, love him like I love him. Then he says, I had another phone at the time. I contacted Harv. Harv says, I'm coming there. I'm with Billy Otto. So I try to prolong the situation, but Snow ended the FaceTime call. He's playing me close. There's no space between us. We're walking like handcuffed together. We walk to Flushing. Snow grabs me by my jacket. I walk away. He's still following me. I start speed walking. I have a $70,000 chain under my jacket. I don't know why I wore it. AOSA Longyear, sounding frustrated, asks, did they come at a time you got away from Snow? He says, yes, I got home. I put my phone on the charger. Then Mel Murder came. We started following Snow. We see him in the Brooklyn House Hotel where I used to stay. Mel Murder tells Snow, don't touch him. Don't look his way. Then Harv shows up with Billy Otto. He was armed. They asked, did you come to find out if anything happened to Snow after that? He says a month after he was shot in the head. Now, 6ix9ine switches gears and testifies about the time he ran into Casanova's crew at the Yams Day concert, which was A$AP Rocky's manager who passed away a long time ago. He ended up running into Casanova. This is the footage that happened in January of 2018. 6ix9ine says there was a tribute for the manager of A$AP Rocky. No one knew Shotty was part of my entourage, so security jumped him. We went to protect him, a huge brawl, people getting stabbed, hit with big sticks. The USA brings a big stack of CDs and they start playing the silent video surveillance footage of the brawl that happened. They ask him, "What are you and Nuke doing?" He said, "Greeting each other, doing the 9 Trey handshake." Is that the handshake you testified about yesterday? Now, if you guys remember yesterday, he showed the handshake of the 9 Trey. He says yes. Then they ask him, "And what's Billy Otto doing in the video?" He says he's stabbing the security guard. "What's Harv holding?" 6ix9ine says, "Like a 3-inch wooden stick. I seen Harv get hit in the face with that stick. He took the stick and beat up the guy who hit him." Now he's testifying about Casanova and his crew. When testifying about Casanova, 6ix9ine explained that after Cass's diss song Set Trippin' came out, 6ix9ine was determined to run down on his rap rival, which was Casanova. 6ix9ine's then friend Seiko Billy offered a caution and some text messages shown to the courtroom saying that Casanova's blood sets the apes would retaliate. Then they read out this text message out loud. There's a kite out saying if any apes happen across your path to fire on you or anybody around you, smarten up, Seiko wrote to the group chat. Ellison, whose Harv is unconcerned, responded, "Apes can fire on this dick. They don't want war with Billy's," which was 9 Trey. So as you can see in this courtroom, they have all the evidence laid down with text messages, surveillance footage, Instagram videos, everything on social media, and they're just laying it all out for the jury to see, for everyone that's involved to see. And now Casanova's crew with the apes is getting involved in this as well, so it's going to be a bad thing for Trippie Redd and now Casanova. Now 6ix9ine decides to detail the moment where he got into a fight at an LA airport. This happened in early February of 2018. So this is how it starts out. Did there come a time you got into a fight with others at an airport in LA? He says, yes, it was an NBA All-Star weekend. At the airport there are these two girls exiting. Seiko and Billy Otto approached them flirting. "Let me help you with your bags." The boyfriends came. The boyfriend said they don't want help with their bags. Harv punches the guy in the face to initiate the fight. "I don't know why I ran out there. I don't know why." Then they asked, "Did you participate in the fight?" 6ix9ine says, "Yeah, but I didn't land any punches." Now 6ix9ine details the time that Harv and Shotty had a falling out, and Harv ended up not becoming 6ix9ine's bodyguard anymore and not becoming part of 6ix9ine and Shotty's 9 Trey movement. 6ix9ine says, "We met up on Long Island prior to me giving Harv and Shotty money. There was falling out. Who was tougher? Who was closer to me? Who was I giving more of the money to? The meeting consisted of, where's the money going? Why aren't other members eating? I gave Harv $25,000. I gave Shotty another $30,000 for hosting at a club. I was gonna sing a song. Mel was like, where's the money at? Shotty is like, I gotta take care of the homies. Homies gotta eat. We don't got no guns out here. We gotta equip ourselves." 6ix9ine continues and tells a story. It says, Harv said, "Stop picking and choosing when you want to be gangster, when you show up and deal with the situation." So what he's basically saying here is Harv was calling Shotty and 6ix9ine out and saying, you guys are not gangsta. This is not the way we move. Harv then said, "I'd rather have 10 lions than 100 sheep." Harv then told 6ix9ine to pawn his jewelry, get security, and live your internet life. Stop being Billy. What he means by stop being Billy is stop being part of the 9 Trey Bloods. Things seem to have been going south fast. Shotty would shake the barricades outside the strip clubs and scream, "We the mob, we TREYWAY." Then they ask, how did Harv respond to that? 6ix9ine said, he said, "Respect this dick. I'm laughing, but I'm not playing." 6ix9ine then continues and then details the time when they actually shot at Trippie Redd's car. This is an incident in April of 2018 where there's video footage of Shotty getting out of his Cadillac vehicle. I believe it's the Cadillac, the big, SUV ones that a lot of celebrities ride, and he gets out and shoots in broad daylight, which is the dumbest thing you could possibly do. But this is when 6ix9ine testifies about that. 6ix9ine continues and he says, we want to confront Trippie Redd in Times Square, but Frenchie was there, his protection when in New York City. Trippie should have checked in with us. 9 Trey, we drive off because there's a lot of police present. Shotty then fires 5 or 6 shots into the Sprinter van. They asked what happened after the shots were fired. The shots hit the car. Then they pivot to April 2018 when they did that armed robbery in Broad, New York, in the New York building that headed the G-Unit offices. That's the building where they robbed Rap-A-Lot Records affiliates, which was J. Prince affiliates. Obviously, he owns Rap-A-Lot Records, J. Prince Jr., and J. Prince himself. So this is where the problems between J. Prince Jr., and 6ix9ine happened. They ended up robbing him in Midtown Manhattan. So they turned to the robbery, and 6ix9ine says, I was at 31 Kingston, my residence at the time, with George Rivera, my driver. Shotty put a bullet in the gun. I started filming. They asked, why did you want to record? And he said, to show that we robbed them, they disrespected us. Now they're showing the video of 6ix9ine when he was in his car recording the robbery. We've seen that video ourselves thousands of times. In the middle of Times Square, in the middle of the day, 6ix9ine says, what the fuck, I'm fucking famous by now, and someone's gonna see me with a fully loaded gun in my hoodie. We tried to flag some cabs down, but they weren't stopping for us, so we take the train. We took a train from Times Square to Fulton Street in Brooklyn. What happened to what you stole, the backpack? It was put in 31 Kingston, my place of residence. It wasn't like a trophy or nothing. Then they turned to the 2 shootings in Brooklyn. 6ix9ine says he was with George. I went to the bank, bought some clothing, got some food at the Spanish restaurant. I was getting ready for performance at Barclays Center. 2 guys are harassing me. George is driving my Suburban. They pull up parallel, recording, mocking me. So Shotty pulls out a gun, opens their door, and pistol whips them. We're telling Shotty to chill. It's Main Street, Graham Avenue. The guy says, come to Gates and Garvey. We'll drive away. There's a garbage truck. We get caught behind it. Shotty cocks the gun, quote, these guys think I'm playing. He runs towards the car. It goes into reverse. Shotty gets on one knee and starts firing off. They ask Mr. Hernandez what happened after the shooting. We went back to Kingston. Then later that night, I had a performance at the Barclays Center. The main event fight, Adrian Broner against some other guy. I don't remember his name. He then says, Harv told me to stay away from Casanova. He's a bitch-ass guy and a snitch. Then the court decides to play the Billy song because the Billy song is a diss song directed at Casanova. They play the music video and then they start dissecting the lyrics. They ask 6ix9ine, what does follow protocol blood mean? He says, you know, protocol, follow the politics of it. Then they ask about the line, I'm a killer too. Is that referring to 9 Trey? He says, no, it refers to the craft, you know, the art. Now it shifts to the Barclays Center shooting where 6ix9ine ran to Casanova and his crew. 6ix9ine says, we're in a tunnel, the doors open, and 30 of Casanova's people come rushing at us. 6 or 7 of us. They were trying to get to me, but I made my way to the back. Shotty told Fuquan Lovick to pull out the gun and shoot it. AUSA asks, in the Barclays video, who is the gentleman in the black collared shirt? 6ix9ine says, George the driver. And what's Fubanga doing? He's throwing up 9 Trey. What about the arm reaching in? Can you zoom in for me? He says, I'm bad with my eyes. 6ix9ine then says, we watched the fight from the car, but before that, I got on Instagram and mocked Casanova. Now 6ix9ine details the night that he got kidnapped and robbed. He says, we're editing the video on Final Cut. I didn't know how to put a name template on it. So I tell George to get the car ready to drive to Park Slope. Andrew Green moved there because he was scared. We stop at the intersection of Atlantic Avenue and Bedford by the shelter. We get hit from behind. George tells me, don't get out the car. I'll let them go on their way, assuming it was someone drunk. George gets out the car. He takes longer than usual. I see a guy running up with a gun. I could have tried to lock the door, but it was too late. The person who ran up was Harv's friend. He's like, shut the fuck up, get out the car. Harv was there too, wearing a red hoodie. There was a scuffle. My driver wasn't making the situation any better. I was telling him, bro, I put money in your pocket. I did right by you. I was tired of being extorted. Harv goes in the car and takes my book bag with my laptop. They tell me to get in the car that bumped me. Harv gets in the driver's seat. We drive like a minute, then Harv stops and gets out, running with the gun back to George, who's following us. George puts it in reverse. He says, I was pleading with Harv. I mentioned my daughter. Then the judge cuts in and says, your daughter was not there that night. Just say what happened, because multiple times 6ix9ine just mentioned other people in the situation that had nothing to do with the situation, and the judge was getting very frustrated with the way he was explaining it. 6ix9ine continued though and said, I see a phone flashing like it was recording. Harv made me say 3 times, I'm not Billy. They picked me up from the floor. Then the judge once again got pissed off because 6ix9ine just kept mentioning other things. He said, let me see counsel at the sidebar. The judge told 6ix9ine to answer only the questions asked. And this is funny because this is the judge basically saying to 6ix9ine, can you stop snitching so damn much? We only want the information that happened with that robbery. So even the judge is getting tired of 6ix9ine basically mentioning multiple names. So it continues and he says, Harv says, we just do this guy right here. No one will ever know. This is a stolen vehicle. Harv asks, what are you exchanging for your life? 6ix9ine then said, stay with me till the morning. 6ix9ine offers to give Harv $100,000 in the morning when the bank opens. Harv says, no, what do you got right now? They drove to Kingston. We came to an agreement that if I gave them my jewelry, they would let me go. He asked mother of his daughter to bring the jewelry down. They grabbed the jewelry. I was expecting to be let out the car, but Harv just kept driving. They let me out right behind Smurf Village. Harv said to get out the car. I said, no, if I get out, you're going to shoot me in my back. Harv said, get the fuck out the car. So I ran. I took the first left I could. I jumped in the back seat of a car. The guy said, get the fuck out my car. I said, bro, you need to relax at this point. Just drive. He made all the turns I made. A right, another right, right to Harv's car. After Harv drove away, I told the guy to drop me at the precinct by Quincy. I asked for medical assistance. I went to Kings County Hospital. Shotty got me discharged. She took me somewhere in Long Island, a hospital CAT scan. Later at 31 Kingston, I told Mel Murder what happened. Shotty brought a big assault rifle. He said he was going to go spin the block looking to harm Harv. Now AUSA Longyear is passing the disabled gun to jurors, so now the jury is actually seeing the gun that Shotty was planning on using to assault Harv. And now that's it for the court hearing for today. 6ix9ine basically told about every single incident, got Trippie Redd involved, revealed that they wanted to try to kill Trippie Redd, and they wanted to try to kill Casanova. So with all this information, what do you guys think? What do you guys think are the implications of all of this? Because there's a lot of information that has been revealed. So with all this evidence, I'm really not surprised that everyone decided to plead guilty besides these two, and that 6ix9ine decided to cooperate with the government because they really had a really tight chokehold on all these guys. They were prepared with evidence out the ass from social media, from text messages, so on and so forth. So it's very hard to defend or go against that. When they get you on a RICO case like this, they're going to make sure they convict you. So with that being said, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to support this channel further, you can do so at patreon.com/diverse-mentality. For just $1 a month or more, you can help support this channel further. A link is in the description below. Like, comment, share, and definitely subscribe. I do videos like this daily on hip-hop news and much more, so definitely subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at QuakeGW. Like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.